All right, today we talked about factoring by greatest common factor. So factoring is changing from general form into factored form. And this skill is basically reverse distributing. So if you multiply 2x times x minus 3, 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. So that's going forward. That's distributing or multiplying. Factoring by greatest common factor is starting with the answer and getting back to the problem. It's actually really useful for a lot of things. So the way you would do that, this is the answer. I just wrote it as notes. So you look here and you look what multiplies to both 2 and negative 6. I always try the lowest number first, like 2 first, just to see. And 2 does work. It goes into both. Because 2 divides 2, 6 divides 2. And the other thing I gotta look for is those x's. So each one has an x. And the whole point is you're taking stuff out of both. You're dividing a 2, You're dividing a 2 out of both, not just one thing. So it's both at the same time. So actually you want to take an x out of both as well, because distributing is sending the 2x in. So what I'm going to do is I look, there's 1x here and 2x's here, as in x squared shows 2x's. So I'm going to just take that, and I know I'm going to have to take an x out as well. And so I do that, and then I can divide 2 divided by 2 to get a 1. X squared divided by x gets me x. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. X divided by x, that divides to 1 and disappears. And you can always check your answer by redistributing. So here's a couple other ones that I did as U-tries. Here I saw both of 3 could divide out of both, and they both had an x, so 3x came out. And then I divided it by 3x. So you could also think 3x times what gets me 3x squared? 3x times x gets me 3x squared. 3x times negative 6 gets me negative 18x. So I knew a negative 6 had to go in there. Here, same thing. 3 divided by both of them. This time, they both had an x. This one had 2 x's. This one had 3 x's. I want to take out as much as possible because this is greatest common factor. So I'm going to divide out 2 x's from each. And then, so the 3's divide to 1, which just disappears. X cubed divided by x squared leaves me just a single x. 9x squared divided by 3x squared. Well, the x squareds will cancel out, dividing to 1, and there's just 3 left when you're done. If you see a negative in front, you factor out a negative. So for here, I saw 4 divided into both, and then they both had an x, so negative 4x left. Then the 2x is what's left after I divide it out. Last one, this had 3 terms, so you look for what divides out of all 3 terms. The third term didn't even have an x, so I couldn't divide an x out of all 3 terms, but they all divided by 2. So I took 2 out, and 2x squared divided by 2 is just x squared. 4x divided by 2 is 2x. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And that's my last example. If you have any questions, send them in the comments.